Good morning. Good morning. Um, I only decided 10 minutes ago to go live at 10 o'clock. I was going to try for 12. Um, but we have some things come up that well, I need to leave the house quite soon. So this won't be a very long one today. Yeah, we're actually going to the trailer today, but in between going to the trailer, which I'm all packed and ready for, um, we have to go somewhere else instead, or first, I should say. So, anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you managed to find me so early today and pop on. Um, I have a couple of things to show you. I have my little list of things, my notes. And I wanted to tell you two things that I concentrated on this week only. And that was the Haunted Halloween quilt along, because yes, today it's all about the quilting and the stitching. Haunted Halloween is the Fat Quarter Shop mystery. Well, it's a stitch. Good morning, Brenda. How are you? It's a stitch along and a quilt along. And so they do this, and I've done it. This will be the third year I've done it. And I have absolutely loved doing every one of these. They're so much fun. The first one I did was Bats and Booze 3 years ago. And of course, it's a quilting and a cross stitch design that match or go together. I shouldn't say they don't necessarily match. And oh, good morning, Elizabeth. How are you? And yes, so the Bats and Booze was amazing. I loved it. And it was bats, basically, and pumpkins or something. And it was a really interesting little display. It was lovely. It was quite a big quilt, and well, a wall hanging. And I really enjoyed that, as well as making the cross stitch for it, which I did do and frame. Then last year was the Boo Crew. And I really, really enjoyed the cross stitch for that one. That was great. And I did. Hey, Elizabeth. Oh, oh, oh my God. While you're vacuuming, girl, sit down. Nobody needs to be vacuuming. Are you kidding? The one I did last year was Boo Crew, and I just haven't quilted it yet, but I do love it. And this was the first time, other than the bats we did the year before, that we had done shapes. So this was the one from last year, and we did all these really cool shapes, and obviously Halloween shapes and stuff. And so this was the kit, and I always get it from them, so that I have all the right fabrics. I don't have a lot of fabric yet, really. I mean, this is my stash. It's not much compared to what other people have got behind them. Good Lord, I only wish. So I always buy their kit because it comes with everything you need, including backing. So, and then this year, it's called Haunted Halloween. It is all free, by the way. Yeah, it's all free. That light's a bit rubbish. Is that better? Yeah. It's all free. This is it on their website. So this is the cross stitch requirements, what you need to make it. And I'm super behind with the cross stitch one. Well, I'm only stitching 1 day a week, so there's only so much you can stitch in a day. Plus, my finger has been really sore right here. And when you're holding a needle and you're doing that, it hurts. I think I know I have osteoarthritis in my thumbs. So it's probably in my fingernail. Sucks getting old. So anyway, so here is what I've done on the cross stitch. So as you can tell, this was clue 1, which I just have to fill in the rest of this here in this orangey color. And basically that's clue 1 done. We're now on clue 3. Yeah, clue 3. And I'm not anywhere close to it. But I'm going to take this with me when we go to Nova Scotia so I can stitch it in the car because it's like a 14-hour drive. So I'm taking this and 2 sock um, project bags. I can't think of the word. So this I am stitching on a 14 count Ada, and it's actually Icelandic gray. It's hard to see, but this is a gray color. So it's kind of nicer than using a plain white, which I think is good. Maybe you can see it's gray now, but it's really cute. And there's only about, I think there's only six colors. Yeah, there's only 6 colors in it. So it's really handy to do. Do you know what I mean? It's not an expensive project. And I had this and I had all my colors, so it was pretty easy to just get it out and do it. Now, I am loving the quilt along. I think I showed you last week clue 1, which is the bat, which I just obviously cross stitched. And then we made these little stars, and I'm assuming these are like a filler somewhere. We're obviously going to add these because so far, all of the other blocks, they're all different sizes. So it's not like they're all the same size. And we're just going to make a nice big straightforward 30 by 30 inch quilt. This so far is the smallest block. So this was week 2, which is a cat. I love this cat. A lot of people change the tail, which is what I love about quilting or cross stitching or any of these crafts that we do ourselves. You can change it up to make it the way you want it to look, so um so people were changing this part of the tail, and I don't know, but I liked it the way it was, and I decided to leave it the way it was. The neck looks a bit big compared to the body. I feel like this side, no, this side was perfect, but this side I don't feel like I quite, although maybe it's just the color, the way the color lays on the, anyway, I really enjoyed this. I'm doing this on my laptop, and it's just a little bit hard to try to figure out where I'm putting the camera, and the light is terrible. Is that better? Maybe that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. So anyway, here it is, and this is cute. I enjoyed making this. Lots of pieces to them, a lot of which are quite small, like his ears. They're little squares, and you're doing a lot of like little squares here. So you're doing a lot of, what do they call them? Snowballs, where you flip and turn. But anyway, I'm going to now show you this week's clue, which I'm going to live here. Okay, I am living here because I love this block. It's a monster, let me tell you. Look how big it is. My goodness, look how big it is. I want to live here. I think I'll have that bedroom up there on the right. Is this not the coolest thing? Oh my gosh, I am loving this. I think if I'm putting my head in the mirror, in the light, it's not coming up great, but it is lovely. I absolutely love it. No? Oh, maybe if I do that. Honest to gosh, it is amazing. And yes, there are lots of pieces in this one too. But oh my goodness. So I can't even imagine. I'm trying to imagine how, because I think next week we're putting it together, but I'm not sure. I don't even know how it's all going to fit because none of them are the same size as each other. So I'm totally loving that project and totally enjoying the cross stitch. So this is a weekly thing. It comes out every Tuesday. Oh, Brenda, wait till you get to that block. You're going to love it. I can every Tuesday it comes out, and just for this month. So I think this Tuesday coming, we literally put it together. There may be another block, I don't know, that we have to make. I don't know. Well, there's more fabric, so there must be. I don't know. Mind you, they do give you a lot of fabric left over. Yeah. So anyway, the other thing that I have been working on is my Nova Scotia quilt, which is called Garden Path. It's a 3-yard quilt, and I made it last year. I had gotten the fabric when I was down east visiting my son Sean, who we're going to see on Monday. And I was down there and I picked up this fabric, and because I loved it, because it was all lighthouses and scenes. And I wanted to try a 3-yard quilt. If you've never tried one, they're super cool. You get a feature fabric or something so bright and pretty or whatever in one, that's your main color. You get 1 yard. And then you get 2 other coordinating, a light and a dark, that will go with that original first yard. And then you make a quilt, and you get these fabulous quilts. So I made this quilt. I don't even think, I might have a picture I can show you. Hang on while I look and see if I can. Yes, here it is. This was my 3-yard quilt. So you can see I used the big blocks were lovely pictures of lighthouses, and then there was the anchors, and then there was a blue, which anyway, so I made it. I loved it. It sat there, it sat there, it sat there. I'd never quilted it yet. It sat there, it sat there, it sat there. And then I watched somebody do last week or the week before. It wasn't long ago. I saw somebody do a quilt as you go. And I thought, wow, how much easier is that to do under your sewing machine than wrestling this whole big quilt under your sewing machine? And so I wanted to do that with my design and mystery block of the month that I've been working on the past year. All my blocks are done. Well, actually, I still have 2 to do. They're all done, but they haven't been put together and they haven't been quilted. And I thought, this will be perfect. But I got to practice. So, because I already had the backing fabric for the Nova Scotia quilt that had been sitting and sitting and sitting, I decided I'd try it on that, which meant I had to unpick it all. I had to unpick the whole quilt. So I took all the borders off. There were 2. And then I got to the blocks, and I decided to leave them in their rows of 4. So I unpicked each row. Then what I did was I laid the block on my ironing board, and I cut out a piece of batting a quarter of an inch, half an inch bigger than that block. Then after that, I cut out a piece of backing fabric an inch bigger all the way around. And then I started to quilt it. And so here is one of the blocks of 4. So I wasn't sure how I was going to quilt it, but I decided to, let me get this side, start here. And I just drew a line straight down the center here. And Wish this light was better. No, I don't think that made any difference. No, it did not make any difference. Oh dear. Let's try that. So I did straight down here, sorry, here, which side am I? This side here, a line. And then I went down and I was going to do crosshatch all the way across. I really was. And then I decided, no, I don't want to cover the picture up. The picture's too pretty. So I just decided to do one on either side, the width of my actual walking foot. So I don't even know if that's like a quarter of an inch or half an inch. I don't think it's half an inch. And then I did one going the other way. Ugh, I can't do it backwards. Going this way. So each block looks like that. So when I got to the second block, I decided to put, because I'd come up this way with the 3, I thought I'm going to continue on, but I'm going to go down. And then on the next one, I'll come up. And then on the next one, I'll go down. So the whole thing started to form a pattern, especially when I used, here it is on the back, especially when I used the single line as well. They all started to make diamond shapes with each other. So there's a small diamond in each square, but then as you join, you can see here where there's 2, you've got one coming up, oh, sorry, where am I? One coming up this way, and then one going down there. It's going to join with row 2 to make a giant diamond. So and this was easy to put under my machine because you have it under the machine to do these 3, and I just kept going back to the top, then this one. You've only got this little teeny bit in the throat of your machine, which was kind of easy. Then when I came to these 2 blocks, I literally turned it around and did it again, making sure I was following my arrows. And what I did first of all was I just put the line across with my friction pen and ruler for each of the 3 blocks. So I knew when I got to the next block, we're just continuing the 3 on. Then I came back after all those are done to put the single line in, and I just did that all in one go. So I went down, came up, down, came up. So anyway, there is the block. So I sewed each of the 6 blocks the same as this. Then what I did was I took 2 of the blocks and sewed them together. 2 of the rows, I should say, 2 of the rows. And here's what it looks like. This is 2 rows sewn together. And you can see that big diamond shape now on the, doesn't that look cool? And you can't tell, listen to me, you can't tell that it's Quilt As You Go. I got all my things to line up, my blocks to line up. Like, it turned out great. Now, I bet you're all yelling, how did you do the back? I'm going to tell you now. So what I did with the back was, let's see if I can show you one. This one. So because I've got this extra flap here, I have it on both sides. The 2 one I'm going to join, and this one. So what I did was I folded them back and pinned them out of the way. Put the 2 pieces facing each other. and sewed my 1/4 inch seam to join them. So then once that was joined, I had 2 flaps like this. So what I did was I looked at the one that looked the best out of the 2, because I mean, sometimes you cut wonky, right? And I trimmed that one down to 1/2 inch. And then I just did what we used to call back in the day a French seam. I pressed it down over the seam I'd just done. Then I folded the bigger piece, and I folded that down a little bit, and then folded that over the top. Because it's hard for me to show you like this, but I'll show you what the back looks like. So there's the back with that. Okay, you can't even hardly see it, can you? Where is it? Here. There. So here is where I folded this flap over, pressed underneath 1/4 inch, and then I pressed it all the way down, all the way along, and I pinned it, and then I went back and I sewed right on the edge. Can you see that? Right on the edge. So here's the original join where they were joined together. Here's the flap over, and from the back, you can hardly tell. You can hardly tell. Is that not the most amazing thing you've seen ever? And yes, it does show a little bit here. You can see a line there, but it's very, well, it's hard to see. But, you know, it's there. And that's how I am joining all my pieces. So once I've done that, so I've got 2 more, the last 2 to join. I've done 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6 are quilted. They just have to be joined together. And then I'm going to work on the border. So I think the way I'm going to do the border is I'll sew the 2 strips together, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'll cut a long strip of fabric from the backing and a long strip of batting, press them all together with my spray starch stuff. It's not starch, glue. And then I'll do some kind of, I don't know if I'll just do a zigzag all the way down. I think I might do that. A zigzag all the way down. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then I'll try to join that to the other one. And then it's done. All I have to do is put the binding on. I mean, come on. It's like, so when you're doing something that you haven't had to unpick and you're doing it as you go, then I think it'll be faster. And by the time you finish your quilt, you've actually finished the whole thing, other than the binding. How cool is that? How cool is that? Does anybody have any questions on how I'm doing my quilt as you go? Let me know. Let me know. I'm about ready to leave now. I know this was super quick. I won't actually have one next week because I will be in Nova Scotia. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, so I won't be doing any Quilty Fun. I will still be recording my Tobyknits knitting while I'm there because I'm taking my knitting with me. But obviously I can't take my machine and I can't quilt while I'm there. So I won't be quilting or doing any of that in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be hard. Leave my little machine. But anyway, so yeah, so there won't be any Fridays for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but I will be back next Monday from where? No, wait. No, I won't even have one this Monday because we're on our way. Yeah, we're driving. It's going to take 14 hours. We'll leave Monday, probably won't get there till Tuesday, something like that. But yeah, and so that'll be good, cool. And Toby's going to my brother-in-law's in Petawawa, and Andrew's going to come and stay here at the house, take care of it, and for us. And yeah, so it's going to be fun. Anyway, okay, I'm going. We have to go now. So I will talk to you all soon. Sorry, this is a quick one, but thank you to all my new subscribers. Please come back and visit me and leave me some notes of kindness below. Give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.